Will Nebraska make a bowl game? Let's have a little classroom session and find out. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, ready to talk some Nebraska football with you, the members of our GE Nation. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to tons of exclusive content, our newsletters, our expert picks, which have beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 6 years. And we are now offering you our holiday special, a reduced price that will give you all of our college football bowl game picks, which have never gone below 60% against the spread, all of our NFL playoff picks, and the final 4 weeks of the NFL regular season, all combined in that holiday special package. So go check it out. The link for that down in the description below. Again, over on thegridironexpert.com, and we would love for you to join our team today. So Nebraska, what a rough stretch it's been for this blue blood program, right? A team that prides itself on its fan base and its history and takes so much pride in their football program, although there hasn't been much pride to be had over almost the last decade. Again, we're having a classroom session here for the Cornhuskers. If you take a look at the numbers, we're going to go through each one. Nebraska has not been to a bowl game since 2016. They have not been to a bowl game since 2016. They went 9-4 in that season. 9-4 in 2016. Since that year, so since 2017, Nebraska is 43-56, and that does include their 5-4 record this year. Their current record is factored into these numbers, but they are 43-56 since the 2017 season. And you remember, we came into this year with a lot of expectations for Nebraska. I don't think people thought they'd win the Big Ten, contend for the Big Ten. No one thought they'd make the college football playoff, but a lot of people believed that in year 2, under Matt Rule, they were going to finally break through and get to a bowl game. They had a very favorable schedule from the start. Some people thought they could start, 6-1, maybe even 7-0, and that was going to clinch a bowl berth, even if they lost out after that. But Matt Rule is a coach that typically has hit his stride in his second year with the program. He did so at Temple. He did so at Baylor. And it looked at one point in time that he was going to be able to do the same at Nebraska. Almost got them to a bowl game last year. We'll get to that in a second. But this year starts the year off at 5-1. So kind of pretty much on pace for what we thought Nebraska could do. And then they have tanked since. They started 5-1, as you see here. Their current record is now 5-4. 3 straight losses. One of those, a 56-7 beatdown against Indiana. 21-17 heartbreaking loss at Ohio State, where if Nebraska could just learn how to convert in the red zone, they would have won that game. And then a 27-20 home loss to UCLA, which to me was entirely unacceptable. UCLA, yes, is getting better. They are improving. But to lose at home with a touchdown favorite to a struggling UCLA program with bowl eligibility on the line was strictly unacceptable. Terrible, terrible play across the board from Nebraska on both sides of the ball. So, again, they were one win away from a bowl game, and now they are 5-4 and staring in the face of an opportunity or a possibility where they don't go. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. So, again, 2016, they go to a bowl, haven't returned. They have tanked since then. They went through a horrible era under Scott Frost. And, if you look at Nebraska's history over the last, again, almost decade, it's been really, really heartbreaking. 2017 to now, Nebraska has had 36 one-possession losses. So from 2017 to now, the Cornhuskers have lost 56 games, as you see. 36 of those 56 have been by one possession. That's over 64% of their losses have been by one possession. Imagine the narrative behind Nebraska football if they'd even won half of those games, right? 36 one-possession losses. What if they had won 18 of those? How different this program could look right now. Maybe they don't have Matt Rule. Maybe they still have Scott Frost. Because here's the thing. In 2017, they went 4-8 with 3 one-possession losses. Easily could have been a 7-5 season. 2018, 4-8 with 5 one-possession losses. Easily could have been a 9-3 season. 2019, they went 5-7, 4 one-possession losses. Could have been 9-3. 2020, the COVID year, 3-5, 3 one-possession losses. Could have been 6-2. COVID year, though, asterisk by it for pretty much everybody. 2021, the best 3-9 team in history, right? Nebraska went 3-9 with 8 one-possession losses. All 9 of their losses were by single digits. Easily could have been a 11-1 team. At the worst, a 10-2 team. flirting with a college football playoff berth if they got one of those. Instead, 3-9. So Nebraska has been competitive. 2022, 4-8, 5 more one-possession losses. Could have been 9-3 again. 2023, last year, first year under Matt Rule, 5-7, 5 one-possession losses. Matt Rule easily could have had this team at 10-2 in 2023, and now at 5-4 in 2024 with 3 games left to play. Nebraska already has 3 one-possession losses. One of those at home to Illinois in overtime, the other to UCLA, as we mentioned, by 7. And then, of course, they lost to Ohio State. So very competitive once again, couldn't get the job done. Nebraska could, in theory, be sitting at 8-1, at worst, maybe 7-2. And they're not just talking about, oh, yay, we're going bowling. They're like, hey, maybe we can go playoff. Playoff is in the picture because many 2-loss teams are going to get into the playoff this year. And Nebraska is now, looking at the possibility of just praying they can get to 6 wins. So, again, if you look at the history, guys, they went 9-4 in 2016. There was a world that through all these completed seasons that Nebraska, at the worst, could have gone to 7-5. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight losing seasons. But if they had taken care of business in those one-possession games, they could have been looking at 7 straight more winning seasons with the worst record being 7-5, and that would have been in 2017. Nebraska's got talent. They have the ability to win these games. They've just been unable to close out the games. That is what has plagued them for so many years. 7, maybe 8 straight years now, depending on what happens over the final 3 games. So that's the thing. You've got all this history here, and now you go to the present day. 2024, 5-4, started 5-1, have lost 3 straight games. Who do they have left? At USC, Wisconsin, and at Iowa. Here's the problem with that. Right? They are almost 10-point underdogs at USC. And the spreads mean something, but look, plenty of people pull off massive upsets all the time. But clearly a lot of people don't believe that Nebraska can go all the way out west and beat USC with their new quarterback change. So let's say they lose that. They're now 5-5. They've got to win one of their last 2 games to go bowling. The problem with that is they're playing 2 Big Ten rivals that they have not fared well against for many, many years. They play Wisconsin at home, senior day. That would be the most ideal win, an opportunity to get a win, right? Wisconsin's been up and down this year, hasn't been all that great. The problem is Nebraska has lost 10 straight to Wisconsin. They have lost 10 straight games to Wisconsin, have not defeated the Badgers since 2012. So they've lost in Madison, they've lost in Lincoln. It doesn't matter where you're playing, they can't get the job done. They cannot get the job done. 10 straight losses to Wisconsin, who also could be fighting for a bowl berth at this point. Who knows? So, a massive game for both programs in terms of their postseason hopes. But Wisconsin's got history on their side going into that game. But Nebraska does have home field advantage, which hasn't meant much this year. And also the fact that it is senior day, which is an emotional time, and you want to send those seniors out with a win. That's the most likely place for a win, because then they go on the road to Iowa, who again has been up and down this year, very inconsistent. But Nebraska has not fared well against their bitter rival, has only won 2 of the last 10 games against the Hawkeyes, despite the last 6 being decided by 1 possession. Nebraska did win 2 years ago, yes, but again, have only beaten Iowa 2 times in the last 10 meetings, but the last 6 have been decided by 1 possession. 3 games left. You got to win 1. 2 of them are on the road. You're going to be underdogs in both of those. If you're favored against Wisconsin, it's going to be very, very slightly favored. And we're talking minuscule here, probably within a field goal. Would be shocked if it was over 4.5. That would be pretty high in my opinion. Nebraska's got to find a way to steal a win here. They might not do it. If they don't do it, they will finish 5-7 for the second year in a row under Matt Rule. And what's so heartbreaking is it would be the 3rd time in the last 5 or 6 years that they have been 1 win away from the postseason and unable to get it done. In 2019, they started 4-2, lost 4 straight, beat Maryland to be at 5-6, but they lost to Iowa by 3 to finish 5-7. 2023, they were 5-3 in year 1 under Matt Rule entering the month of November, but lost their final 4 games last year by a total combined 16 points, including 3 losses by a field goal in their final 3 games. 5-3 with 4 games left to play, lost all 4, finished 5-7. Now, Nebraska could be at a 5-1 start and could end up losing 6 straight games to end the year and seeing their bowlless streak, their bowl drought, continue for another year. It's heartbreaking, it's frustrating, it's irritating, and it makes you wonder if Nebraska sold their soul for all the success they had back in the 90s. I mean, it makes you wonder if that's kind of what happened. If all the old success that kind of put Nebraska into that blue blood category. So they sold their soul for that. And now they're seeing the consequences of it, because this is what feels like a cursed program with so many heartbreaking losses, with so many games that they've gone their way. The outcome and the landscape of the program will be drastically different. But the Cornhuskers are not in a good spot right now. I don't think people realize how bad it's been over the last couple of years, how close Nebraska has been over the last 2 years, but it's a shocking trend. And people are going to get very frustrated with Matt Rule if he fails to get them to the postseason in 2024. Still 3 games left to be played. Just got to win 1, and everybody can calm down. You'll end that bowlless streak. But that is easier said than done with these final 3 games, and easier said than done considering the way Nebraska has been playing over the last few weeks. So guys, there you have it. Will Nebraska go bowling? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Can they find a way to steal a win and get to 6 wins and build on that going forward under Matt Rule? Or will they finish 5-7 for the 2nd year in a row? Another heartbreaking end to the season. As always, we thank you so much for watching us here at The Gridiron Expert. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of those expert picks. Go check them out, especially our holiday special, again, over on thegridironexpert.com. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.